everyone. Today I'm going to be creating a layout using some goodies from the gorgeous Brooke Kit, but also I'm mixing in a few other bits and pieces from other kits as well. So I've got some papers from the Alexis kit, I've got a mix of other embellishments, I think that was Zoe and the Alexis kit as well. And I've also got a circle already cut out of the middle of my white cardstock. I used one of the old circle cutters that I had in my stash, so it's not a perfect circle. There's a couple of little nicks here and there, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to work with it. And I do already have a design in mind, and I really want to use this beautiful crepe ruffle trim that came in the kit this month. So that's going to be incorporated into my design. So I'll get organized and I'll be back in a moment to show you what I'm going to do with this page. Okay, so to start off with, I'm going to get a second piece of cardstock and I'm tracing around the inner edge of that circle. Now this will just give me a guide for when I want to stick down my strips of pattern paper, just to make sure that I do cover the whole circle and you won't see any gaps from the front. So I've got papers from the Brooke kit, the Alexis kit, and I think there's one from the Henley kit as well. And I've just cut them to different lengths and I'm just trying to arrange them so I have a nice look going on, and I've got a mix of the colours and the black and white patterns there. I'm just going to check that I do have that whole circle filled in. Now you'll notice that little piece I'm filling with there doesn't go all the way across, but that bit to the left is going to be covered up with my photos, so it doesn't matter that it's not complete. I kind of like it, just a little piece of that piece of paper there anyway. Alright, so I'm going to add that trim across there and my photo, but first I'm going to go ahead and start sticking those pieces down. I won't make you watch me stick all of them down, so I'll do a couple, then I'll go away, finish off the rest and add some stitching. So there you go, stitching is now done, and I've got some zigzag stitching and some straight stitching across each of those strips. Now I'm going to stitch a border around the outside of that circle before I stick that down. So I'm just grabbing my sewing machine and I go round and round the outside of that circle, probably 6, 7, 8 times. So I just keep going until I'm happy with how thick the border is. There you go, you can see there's lots of rows there. A little bit messy, but that's exactly what I was going for. And I haven't cut those threads off yet because I'm still deciding whether I want to keep them or not. Alright, so I'm now ready to stick that top piece down. So just using my tape runner and carefully putting that into place. I will also grab my T-square ruler just to make sure I do have that nice and straight. Just checking that one there, and it's looking good. So now I can go ahead and add that pretty ruffle trim. So I do want it to go across those black and white patterned papers, and I know this does have a row of stitching across the middle, but I'm going to stick it down with some thin double-sided tape, and then I'm going to add a few more rows of stitching just to add a little bit more extra texture to that piece. So sticking that one down, and then I'll go ahead and add the stitching. So that's now done, and you can see there I've got a black and white button. It's not stitched into place yet, and I'm working on my photo first. So that's got some foam tape behind it and a little white tag as well, just out of my stash. So I've tucked it under the edge of that trim. And now I've got a floral die cut. This was from the Alexis kit, I think, or it might have been the Zoe kit, sorry. Yeah, the Zoe kit, that one. So I'll add a little bit of foam tape to that as well. Now I do have a loop of twine here that I've added a tiny tag from the Zoe kit, a willow tiny tassel, and a Caroline silicone charm. And I've just looped them onto that thread or twine, and I'm going to hang it from this button. So first of all, I'm going to stitch this button into place. I'm using a paper piercer to make my holes, and then that same twine I'm just going to go up through the back of my cardstock and then down through the top of that button. That's because it's quite thick, that's all it really needs to hold this button onto the page. So just lining up those holes. So up through the back and then down through the front. And then all I do is tie a double knot at the back and trim off those threads. All right, so now I can grab that little dangly piece and wrap it around that button. And I love how that's just hanging down the page. And those loose threads that I didn't cut off earlier also hang down that same spot. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm quite happy with that. So next, my title is going on. Now this capture word was from the Alexis kit, one of the die cut shapes. And I've also got this acetate word, which was from the Zoe kit. And because I want to pop it up off the page a little bit, I'm backing it with some white cardstock so the words really do stand out and they're nice and bright. So just sticking that cardstock on with just some thin double-sided tape on the back there. Okay, and I'm just adding some foam squares behind that. All right, so that can now go onto there below that capture word. And now I've got that little die cut heart. That's from the Brooke kit. And again, I'm adding more foam squares, adding lots of dimension to this page. So there's lots of texture and dimension going on. Now adding this little heart, it's adding a little visual triangle with those yellow pieces. So I've got the tassel, the floral piece, and that heart now. All right, so next I'm going to add a little bit of stamping. Now this is the Love Notes stamp set. I love this set. It's got so many versatile images and stamps that you can use on all different projects. But today I'm using this cute little row of hearts. So because I haven't used this stamp before, I'm doing a little test stamp before I go straight onto my page. And I'm just adding that one into that bottom section of the circle there. And I've also got the phrase you and me. Now this one I'm going to stamp onto that same white cardstock, and then I'm just going to cut it out and tuck it in under the left hand side of my photo. So just quickly trimming that down and I'll tuck it in there, but I will add some foam tape behind that too. And then that one can go onto the page. Alright, so a couple more little things to do and then this page will be done. I do add a little yellow heart next to that die cut heart and also the date as well, which I'll put just underneath that row of hearts. Alright, so if you've got any questions at all about this page, please let me know in the comments below. I will add a link to Felicity Jane down below as always. And I hope you've enjoyed seeing this page come together today. I absolutely love the colours on this one. So pretty. And that ruffle trim I think I'll be using again and again. Okay, if you've got any questions, let me know. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll be back again soon with more to share. Bye for now.